Hmm. Well, it is 2:02, and this is my second live stream on YouTube, and it looks like nobody's here, so I think I'll just wait a couple of minutes and see if anybody shows up. I'm not going to do this by myself. I mean, I could, but I might as well just record a video. Actually, I guess it is recording. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And I think I have one person, which is me. And they just went away. All right. Geez. Somebody came on and went away, or was that me? I don't know. This is kind of weird. I thought for sure somebody would come. All right, let me put this out. Well, I don't care. If nobody's here, I'm just going to do this all by my own self, and maybe people will come. Maybe they'll realize that it's on, or maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. So I am going to just check one thing since nobody's here, and it's just me. I'm going to see something real quick, I think, and see. I'm going to see something real quick, and that's not something I was going to see. So nobody's on yet, and so I have plenty of time to do this. This is what I'm trying to do. Da ba da. Okay. Okay. It's all good. It's all working. All right. Well, at this point, not a whole lot of people on, but that's okay. I've always said I'm going to do this no matter how many people show up. So hello, Ron. Thank you. I don't know what happened to everybody, but you're here. So I'm here. This is all we need is 2 people. Is that right? Maybe some others will join. I don't know. Maybe I chose the wrong day or a wrong time. I'm just gonna go for it, I guess. Boy, we really have an awful lot going on in the can do. We have a lot going on, Ron. It's just so much going on that I can hardly keep up with all of it. So today, Nancy Pelosi named her impeachment managers, which of course were Schiff and Nadler, and which we knew that's who she was going to name. I don't understand that, because she got mad with Nadler because he made such a debacle of the thing, and then she got Schiff to do his thing. Well, I thought he did a worse job than Nadler, but he got the impeachment through, so I guess she was happy with him. To me, they're Tweedledum and Tweedledee. I mean, I don't care who she puts up there. This whole thing is just one of the things that makes me angry about it. Is I really, really, really want the Senate to dismiss this whole thing. And at one point, they had the votes. Mitch McConnell said they had the votes. They didn't have the articles of impeachment. All the stupid Republicans needed to do was to change their rules and go ahead and dismiss this impeachment thing out of hand, which they could have done. They had the votes. Then they didn't, because they were waiting for the articles. They were going to do it right. They were going to follow the rules, whatever. They can make the rules. That's what the Democrats did. The Democrats made their own rules. And so I hate, my dogs are barking like crazy. They will just refuse to answer the subpoena, and then it'll go to court. And because they don't have any executive privilege like the president does, but they'll just deny it. I'm not going to answer that subpoena or whatever. They have to actually have a subpoena issued. They can just say, I'm not going to go for it. And then the Republicans would have to take them to court, and they probably don't want to do that. I don't, in that case, I think they want to get through this thing expeditiously. So I don't think they're going to go that route. I have no idea what's going to happen. The trial is starting on Tuesday. I've been all over the place with this thing. I want them to dismiss it, and they should have dismissed it when they had the chance, and they could have. I like Mitch McConnell. I think he's done a great job. I think his problem is people like Mitt Romney and Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski and a couple of others who are what I call squishy rhinos, because they won't support this president unless somebody holds a gun to their head. And, not saying that now, YouTube don't shut me down because I talked about holding the gun stuff he said, but exactly, absolutely. They are the issue. They are the problem. And I hope that come November, and I don't know who's up for reelection. I'll have to look for that because the Senate is every 6 years. It's the House that's every 2 years. And I think Mitt Romney has 2 more years. I'm not 100% sure. We can look that up, but they're shooting themselves in the foot. They just don't realize it. I mean, did you watch any of the Trump rally last night in Wisconsin? Did you catch it? If you didn't catch it, you can always go to RSBN TV. It's Right Side Broadcasting Network. It's rsbntv.com or org or whatever it is, because they keep them. They film them live. They live stream them, and then they hold on to them, so you can go back and watch the other ones. I have to say, light bulbs, dishwashers, showers, and toilets. I mean, I was laughing so hard at the president because he was talking about the fact that they in his administration has undone the regulation that said that we have to have those CFLs, the compact fluorescent light bulbs, and he went into, the only way to describe it is he went into a riff almost. It was hilarious. He was talking about he doesn't like those light bulbs, that they are actually a hazard. You're not supposed to put them in your garbage. You're supposed to take them to the hazard place where you dispose of hazard materials. And he said that his handlers said, you can't talk about light bulbs at a political rally. Well, how could they tell him he can't? So he goes into this thing about light bulbs and how nobody ever disposes of them properly anyway, and he doesn't like them because they make him look orange, and he doesn't like that. He doesn't like looking orange. Exactly. He tells it like it is. He sounds like one of us complaining about this. So funny. He says, you go to take a shower because of the restrictors they have in the shower head. You go to take a shower, and he said, you get drip, drip, drip. He said it takes you 10 hours to take a shower, and it is not a pleasant experience. And I'm telling you, this is a man for the people. He thinks like we think. He is a pragmatist. He looks at this situation like we can't take a shower because we can't get any water to flow. What is the issue? They have these stupid restrictions on water flow, and yet California is dumping all of its water into the Pacific Ocean because of some fish, I don't know, that they're trying to save. But he is just one of us. He is, and he sees things this way. He was a builder for how many years? He didn't just write the checks or buy the land or whatever. He was actually there with the guys who were laying the foundation, who were putting in, the pipes for the water or whatever, and he knows all the issues. So he was saying last night that the dishwashers no longer have to have a restriction, and he was just talking about, I'm so sorry if you just bought a new dishwasher, but you no longer have to have the water restriction. You no longer have to wash your dishes 10 times and take them out and wash them by hand. I tell you, I was laughing. It was so funny. And the fact that he is up there on Tuesday, the trial is going to begin. They're going to right. Well, that's true. I'm sure that, but you see, that's the thing. He's a billionaire, and he could easily say, well, it doesn't bother me. I don't know. But he knows about it because he hangs out with common folk. Plus, I like the fact that during the campaign, I think it was his son who referred to him as the blue collar billionaire, because that's what he is. I mean, he's just one of us. You know, he puts ketchup on his steak. Oh, mainstream media had a heyday with that. I don't care how he eats his steak. Doesn't matter to me, but it just makes him more like one of us. And I think he feels more comfortable with us. And I think, you know, all of the stuff that they throw at him, have thrown at him, has only made us stronger and made him stronger. And so 2020 comes, I tell you, we have to reelect him, and we have to take back the House and the Senate. We have to get conservative Republicans in there. People can say, well, you can be a Democrat and be conservative. You can't count on Democrats or Republicans necessarily, but you can't count on Democrats to vote with Republicans, even if they say they would. They won't, because they have to toe the line. They will be refused money. The DNC will do fundraising and we'll cut them out of it, and you know, all of this other stuff. So I know the squad needs to go. I don't know how they got elected. Well, I do, but the squad needs to go. They just need to go. Period. The end. We can't do the squad thing anymore. But people need to wake up. And I think one of the things that 2018 elections have done is help people to wake up, I hope. Because every other day I'm seeing a new person online saying, I used to be a Democrat, I'll never vote Democrat again. So re-election is right. Oh God, get rid of the squad. That really, I remember when AOC first came on the scene, and I didn't think she would be elected. I really didn't think she would be elected. But of course, we have a socialist, Bernie, who's doing very well. I did not watch any of the debates last night because I just can't. I can't stomach it. But I saw one question that let us all know who the mainstream media is for in this whole thing. And that is, they asked Bernie Sanders if he had in fact said that a woman could not win the election. And he said no, he had not said that. They asked Elizabeth Warren, listen to this, how did you feel when Senator Sanders said that a woman could not be elected? And I thought, they didn't even pay any attention to him. They're just assuming he's lying and she's telling the truth because they want to promote her. And that's the kind of thing that you know, with the press, you got to look up, who are they promoting? Well, whoever they're promoting is who the DNC is behind. And that's because the mainstream media is just another arm of the DNC, or actually the DNC may be an arm of the media. I don't know how it goes, but you know, and speaking of the media, what the heck? I never, not radical DNC. I think the whole DNC is radical. I think they are all. I think they've all become radical. I think they haven't had much of a choice. And just like I said before, AOC has a war chest, and she holds it over their head that she's going to primary them if they don't vote the way she wants them to. But and that's exactly what they do. They just hold money over their head. Or we're going to primary you, or we're going to kick you out, or you know, that one guy had to become a Republican because he wasn't going to get any committees or whatever. And I think the Republican Party does that to a certain extent. I don't think they do it as badly as the Democrats. I think the Democrats really have this, you have to be lockstep. You have to say, you know, what we tell you to say, and vote the way we tell you to vote. Now they'll say, yeah, my people can vote any way they want to. But I don't think it's true. Then they don't get their committees, and then they get primaried and they get booted out of there one way or another. I mean, they have all kinds of ways of getting rid of these people. Ethics violations. They've all committed ethics. Campaign finance laws are so complicated that Newt Gingrich said there's no way that anybody understands them. So it's very, very easy for somebody to be in violation of the campaign finance laws. And they just decide who they want to be in violation of the laws, because probably all of them are. Republican, Democrat, according to Newt, the laws are just so complicated that nobody can figure it out, even you have 3 PhDs. So that's, and speaking of Democrats, the Democrats refused to vote for the support of the Iran protesters, that the Republicans put up a resolution to support the protesters, and the Democrats would not blocked it. They wouldn't vote, but they couldn't get enough votes to pass it. Oh, but they put up their resolution about, what a horrible person the president is for killing an evil man in Iran. And did you see the Iranians walking carefully around the American and the Israeli flag? I think that 90% of them went around instead of walking on it. And those who were walking on it were being yelled at by the ones who were walking around. And they were saying, what are we doing? And they were saying, you lied to us. America's not our enemy, you are. And that was what they were chanting. It was really heartwarming for me to see that, because, they've been duped this whole time. They didn't know they'd been duped. And one of their own Iran state news people, came out with an apology. They resigned from their position and came out with an apology. They said they were sorry they've been lying to the people for 13 years. That, I don't know what's going to happen to that person. Who knows? They might be in jail. They might already be in jail. I know who is in jail, or who spent the night in jail. Michael Avenatti. He was arrested last night. In fact, he was arrested and he was in a hearing. I don't know if y'all heard about this. Creepy porn lawyer. He was in a hearing in California where they were discussing whether to disbar him or not. And so he was in this hearing, in one hearing, and he was pulled out of there during recess. And the judge was handed a note, or official letter, whatever, that they took him into custody. The feds came and got him. So, of course, we have people here disrespect our flag. Yeah, he was arrested. Michael Avenatti, you can look at the guy for 5 seconds and he's a creep. He's a creepy guy. I mean, Tucker Carlson's the one who calls him a creepy porn lawyer. But yeah, he's evil. He's bad news. And the mainstream media had him on their shows all the time. They wanted him to run for president. Really? This is the person that wanted to run for president? He's basically an ambulance chaser. And the reason they were disbarring him is because he built people out of money, like in lawsuits. He's totally creepy. I mean, you just look at him and see that. But they all fell in love with him. Brian Stelter wanted him to run for president. They thought he could beat Donald Trump and all of this stuff. First of all, he's not very charismatic. You can see when he speaks that he has a lot of anger and frustration. He's not a happy person whatsoever. He's cheated all these people. He made up all this stuff. He's like, and I thought, why in the world? He fits right in. I mean, he is as much a liar as Adam Schiff. He fits right in. So of course they like him. They think he's a good liar. They think he's good at what he does. It's amazing how the truth has taken a back seat in the media. And maybe it has been that way more than we know, and we just were not aware of it. I was aware of it when Obama was president, because they were always touting what Obama was doing, and I'm thinking, really, I didn't, whatever. So anyway, so today the professional, exactly. But how can you not see through that? That's what I don't get. How do you not see through that? Can't you? It just comes across. It's like Elizabeth Warren. When they said something to Bernie Sanders, did you say a woman couldn't become president? Well, Elizabeth Warren said he said it. Well, between the two of them, I believe Bernie Sanders. I don't like him. I don't support him. But Elizabeth Warren is not Indian. Her father was not a janitor. He was a mechanic. But why do you lie about that? That's just retarded. I mean, who cares? A mechanic or a janitor? And her son did go to private school. She said he didn't. And I think it was her grandparents' marriage. It's either her parents' marriage or her grandparents' marriage. One of them, she said that the family didn't want it because one of them was Indian. Well, we know she wasn't a Cherokee, so that was a lie. But that people put up pictures of the reception of this wedding with the whole family. It was ridiculous. She just lies about anything. So why does anybody believe? But it was did you say that? No, I didn't. Well, how did you feel when he said what he just said he didn't say? Although we think he did say it and we think he's lying. And so we were told to support you over Bernie, and they don't want Bernie to be the nominee. So we have to help you out here. That was kind of that. And that's what they're doing. It's just like they propped up Hillary. They just do not want Bernie to be the nominee. Sorry, he has the biggest following. He has the most supporters. But, she is a member of the Liars Club. They all are. They talk about the president lies. Oh, the president lied. He lied. He lied. Are you kidding me? He exaggerates. He says that, but I don't consider. They tell bold-faced lies. I do not want to see this trial. I don't want to see it go to a trial. I never wanted it to go to a trial. I feel really, really, really badly that our president, whom we love, is going to have that little I beside his name forever. But this is where we are, and I hope the Republicans do the right thing, although they haven't yet. I wanted them to just dismiss it, but they don't have the guts to do that. So I don't think they'll do that until we get rid of Romney. But now they've got this new Ukrainian-Russian collusion delusion again. They're saying, that the Russians hacked into Burisma computers. I don't think so. I think that's a whole nother made up thing. That's a whole nother hoax. They're just trying desperately to make the Russians be entangled with our president, and they're not. I mean, he hasn't done a whole lot to make the Russians happy. If you look at his policies, he signed a trade deal with China just today. Now, he's continuing to do what he's continuing to do. The wall is getting built. The trade deals are happening. All this stuff is going on, and they're just trip. But somebody said, and I found this same old song. Yeah, I found this to be very, very interesting. And I think it's partly true. They hate him, no doubt. But who they really hate is us, because he has the best supporters they've ever seen. He's got the strongest support they've ever seen. I mean, wherever he goes, he sells out the arena. When he was in Wisconsin, it was huge, and the response to him is huge. And we love him, and we know who he is, and all of these things that you all know. And they want us to think. And one of the things that happens is I get emails, or I see on Twitter or Facebook, somebody says to me, "Oh, did you see this happened? And did the president really do this?" First of all, probably not, unless it was good. He didn't do it, or he didn't say it, or if he said it, it was taken out of context. Don't worry about whatever proof they think they have. They have this note, this scribbled note by Parva, the guy who was in with Rudy Giuliani, who says, get Zelensky to agree to investigate Biden. And it's like written on the hotel paper, and it's not dated, and it's not signed, and who knows, probably Adam Schiff wrote it himself. But they're trying to say that, yes, he was putting pressure on them to, I don't care if he was. That's terrible what they did in Ukraine by saying, I'll give you this money if you fire this guy, and I'm not going to give you the money if you don't fire this guy. So yes, we get stronger by the day. He gets stronger by the day. I don't think that they have a clue what's coming in 2020. I think they think that they're going to hamstring him to such a point that we're going to all give up on him, or they're going to throw all of this stuff out that some of it's going to stick, and we're going to go, oh no. Well, I tell you what, I've seen the list of Democrats standing up on that stage. There's not one of them I would even, if somebody held a gun to my head and said you had to vote for one of them, I wouldn't. I couldn't. I can't even imagine. I'm telling you, I'm not turning my country over to these idiots. They've already done enough damage. Look at what they've done, and don't have a president in power. Imagine what would happen if we had a Democrat president and House and Senate. Oh Lord, talk about moving someplace. I'd go to Australia or New Zealand or someplace like that. I wouldn't stay here. I mean, under their circumstances. But it's all good. I mean, everything is going to come out okay. We just have to stay strong. We have to keep praying for him. We have to support him, and we have to be diligent about the truth and what is the truth. And as I said, I get emails all the time from people. Did he say this or did this happen? No. And some of it's kind of common sense. No, I'm sorry. And then General Flynn is retracting his guilty plea. And so hopefully that case will be able to be thrown out or dismissed or whatever because of all the evidence against the prosecution for what they did. And there was a big, I think I already talked about this a little bit, but the news person in Iran who apologized for lying. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, I can't imagine our news media people ever apologizing to us for anything that they've ever said. And they've been lying to us for 40 years or more of all kinds of things. Who knows what they said? But we've got so much going on with all of this. I can't wait to see Nadler and Schiff as the impeachment managers. They can't manage anything, let alone this. And see if, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if they're going to try to pull out. What I heard was the Mitch McConnell was saying to the Democrats, if you want to have this witness, we get to have this witness. And if you want this one, then we're going to pull this one. And Schiff is going to have to testify, and the whistleblower is going to have to testify. And maybe the Democrats said, well, we don't. All of a sudden, I did notice that Adam Schiff has been saying that he does not want Bolton to testify. Well, that may be because he knows what Bolton is going to say. So, they wanted Bolton, and people were talking about, and he said he would testify. And now all of a sudden, Schiff is saying, we don't think it's necessary for Bolton to testify. Oh, well, that tells me all I need to know about that. You think that he's going to exonerate the president, and he probably would. I mean, what is he going to say? This whole thing is just gotten to be utterly ridiculous, in my opinion, and it's just going to continue to get more ridiculous as it goes. They're already investigating. They want to do an investigation on. Now they're talking about money laundering. The president was money laundering with this whole Ukraine. It's Humpty Dumpty Nadler is exactly right. Oh, that is who Humpty Dumpty. Maybe he'll fall off the wall. I shouldn't say that, but I do know that that in the end of all of this, the president will prevail. It's just going to be a very long. What do we have? 10 months now, 11, but whatever it is, it's going to be a very, very long time. We're going to have to spend a lot of time in prayer. We're going to have to spend a lot of time supporting him and backing him up and getting on Twitter and whatever he says. I just say, thank you, Mr. President, because he's got 20,000 people saying, not thank you. That come on. And, I know how it feels when you put up a tweet and you get people say, calling you all kinds of names. I know they say it doesn't bother him, but it bothers me. And I want not only him to know that I'm out there supporting him, but I want, the other people out there to see, yes, we back him up. We have his back. And that's why I won't ever criticize him, even if I disagree with him. That's for other people to do. That is not for me to do. That's not my place. I think to myself, I wouldn't be able to get up out of bed every morning with all the stuff he's got coming against him. He doesn't need his own supporters. And that's what made me so mad about Matt Gaetz. There was a time and a place for doing what he did, and that was neither the time nor the place nor the issue. That made me really angry that he voted with the Democrats on the resolution to limit the president's powers. You can disagree with the president, and certainly Matt Gaetz is in a position where he has constituents and he needs to do that. You take your disagreement to the president. You go and see him yourself, because he certainly can. And you talk to him about it, but don't you dare don't vote or vote present or whatever, especially now. I know, especially now. And Mike Lee was saying something about how he didn't trust the intelligence about Soleimani, or I always want to call him Salami, but now is not the time. Now is not the time. You take that up personally. It's like airing your dirty laundry in public. You don't do that. He doesn't need that now. And it doesn't do it. It had no effect. Why in the world Matt Gaetz thought that was, it had no effect. It had no bearing on anything. Nothing. And for them to do that was just a stab in the back. I felt like it stabbed me in the gut. I was like, what the heck is wrong with you? We fight so hard and you want to, and it was just stupid. Exactly right. It was just stupid. Stupid on his part. I don't know what his game is, Matt Gaetz. I don't know if he's grandstanding for some reason or if he was under a lot of pressure. I don't know why he would be under a lot of pressure, but I did, a lot of us feel that way. Well, good. That's right. I mean, and that's another reason why I like to be on Twitter. I mean, we blasted him on Twitter. What are you thinking? What are you doing? What is your problem? And somebody came back to me and said, what, because of one argument? I said, no, it's the timing. It's that particular argument when all of this stuff was under fire for killing that scumbag. And the resolution didn't even do anything. It didn't carry any weight. So all it did was give Nancy Pelosi more fuel to say, 3 of your Republicans voted with me, nah, 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 nah. I mean, come on, we didn't need that. And Adler looked sickly. Yeah, he passed out a couple of, probably it was 6 months ago, but he passed out one time and they took him to the hospital. He is huge, but he has actually lost a lot of weight. You see pictures of him from before. You were banned from Twitter. Well, I'm not surprised. It's not hard to get banned from Twitter if you're a Trump follower. But no, Nadler, if you see pictures of him previously, he was a lot bigger than he is now. So he actually has lost a lot of weight. But he's so pale. I've never seen anybody that pale in my life. He looks bad. And Nancy Pelosi, she can't speak. People say she's really smart. She's good at what she does. I don't see it, to be honest. I mean, yeah, she pulled this off, but I don't think she did it. She's out there. She can't even make 2 sentences together. Neither can Biden. Or what people are thinking. You see them question people on the street. Why are you voting for Joe Biden? And they have these answers, but I'm looking at them thinking, are you talking about the same person that I'm seeing on TV? His belt is also his. No. His pants are up. I know. I don't know what you do if you're banned from Twitter, but yeah, you're right. Nadler has that old man pants that come up to here. I was like, my kids used to do that when they were pretending to be an old man. That's a bad look for anybody, but particularly him. Bless his heart. Oh my goodness. What? Well, I think it's time to wrap this up. Truth. It's the truth. You can't speak the truth on Twitter or Facebook, either one. But, the Facebook people recently came out and said that Donald Trump was absolutely the best social media advertising person they've ever seen, getting his word out. And that's why Brad Parscale is now the head of his campaign, because he's the one who was in charge of social media, and he did such a great job. So, well, guys, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming on. And I think it's about time to say sayonara. And I love you guys, but it would have been nice if we had just a couple more people on to make it a little interesting. I'll try to post it. I think I gave people about a week's notice. Anyway, God bless our president. God bless the United States of America, and God bless you all. And we'll see you in a week. Thank you. Bye.